Look! Look, the dynamic duo!
Hey guys, welcome to the Dynamic Duo. I'm Franz.
I'm Kevin. Welcome back to the Batcave and Avengers Tower, everybody. We're
Kevin,
here.
I wanted to get your opinion on, we were just talking about the choices that Kevin Feige has been making with the whole MCU. And in many ways, what we talked about is the fact that what he's doing is kind of genius in the sense that he's replicating the comic book world and bringing it into the MCU cinematic universe world. And as such, he's doing the top level, A level characters, as well as the B, C, and D level characters as well. It's a very, very interesting choice. And it has worked. We have to admit that it has worked in many cases. Like, for example, doing the Guardians of the Galaxy as a movie is the last thing I would have chosen as a movie, like literally the last thing. And yet it worked very, very well. It was a very, very successful thing. Ultimately, I think it's the delivery. I think all these characters, anyone that we could name, is interesting enough to have been memorable enough for us to be able to name them. So it's how you handle the material that matters. Having said that, what is your thought on Ms. Marvel, Kevin Feige and Marvel choosing Ms. Marvel as one of the characters to have a TV show about?
I must be honest with you. I'm not a huge Ms. Marvel fan. I don't have anything against the character. I just don't follow her on a huge level. Now, with that being said, I am happy and glad for anybody that does follow the character that they're doing the streaming show. Okay. At the same time, with that being said, and this may be considered internet rumor or internet fodder, about 10 days ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, there was a quick little thing that had come out, and it was kind of splashed over YouTube and a few other places. And again, I'm not being negative with what I'm about to say, but they did a preview of the Ms. Marvel stuff that they had shot up to that point, according to what had been put out there. And the Disney executives and the Marvel executives were not really all that happy. And from what I understand, they have shot either 3 or 4 episodes thus far. And the production team has been ordered, go back and fix all of this. They weren't happy with any of it. So yeah. I'm not sure what that means overall, or what that could mean for the future, the production, the show, the character, or anything else that follows.
Yeah. I heard that rumor as well. I read those articles and watched some videos about that. For me, I'm a little bit torn with Ms. Marvel. On the one hand, I am absolutely happy and support the idea of representation. And one of the minorities that's been least represented in movies and TV shows and everything is the Muslim community. And, you know, people need representation and they need to be able to see themselves. And so I absolutely applaud that effort. And I think it's very courageous of Marvel and Kevin and everybody else who's making those decisions to bring that representation onto the screen so that people can recognize themselves. As much as I'd like to see myself, I want other people to see themselves as well. And I want other people, even if, not even just seeing themselves, but there's a lot of misconceptions. And there are a lot of prejudices and stereotypes out there. And so for a lot of Americans, they may not know what it's like to be in a Muslim family or to be a young Muslim girl. And so it'll be eye-opening and educational, and it's good in all that way. Having said that, there are a couple of issues with this, and we talked about this before. It's, choosing certain characters for shows. Ms. Marvel is not a concept that necessarily caught on in the comic books. It's not a popular concept. It's like they're trying to replicate a lot of characters and it's not working. X-23 is just not taking hold. Sentry was a total failure. It's not easy to make Spider-Man. It's not easy to make Captain America. It's not easy to be the genius that Stan Lee was. And so when you take that genius and you change it, that's why we get upset. And when you take a new character and you presume that they're on the level of having been accepted like a Marvel or a Thor or things like that, that's what is giving me a little bit of a hesitation. It's like, we're doing a show about Ms. Marvel, a character that people don't really know or don't really connect to. I know very little about the character. So I'm not sure that I agree with that choice from a character choice point of view. But going back again, having said that, if we're going to do characters, if we're going to do it, then yeah, let's be courageous. Let's have representation, and let's handle the material in a way that's compelling and interesting, perhaps better than the comic books have handled it. Now, a lot of hatred is coming towards the show. A lot of AIWs are coming for the show because they think it's AI, they think it's SJW, social justice warrior. They hate, they hate the choice because it's inclusivity. And they're coming for Marvel, and they're coming for the editor-in-chief of Marvel Comics, with hatred. It's like, oh my God, and they're presenting the reshoots as such. I told you, see, this is a failure. This is terrible. This is blah, blah, blah. They're reshooting it. It's so awful. They're reshooting it, which you didn't do, obviously. But a lot of people are coming for it that way. We stand apart from that kind of nonsense criticism. Reshoots happen all the time. We don't know what it means. The show could be good. It could be awful. It could be great. We don't know just yet. And we're not painting the ugly brush of inclusivity warriors and saying we are against it just because they're trying to represent minorities.
Within the space of what you said, if I may, one of the major reasons why people need to kind of get a grip on themselves about the character overall, and I'm not talking about whether you follow her or not. I'm talking about the same thing that you have just pointed out, dealing with her inclusion from an ethnic standpoint and other areas. People might as well get used to this, get used to her, get used to the character, get used to Marvel doing this, get used to DC doing it, because as I understand it, the character is going to be included in the new Captain Marvel movie when it's done, hence the title of Marvels, because there's supposed to be more than one Captain Marvel or Marvel female character represented, or Marvel, or I should say Captain Marvel representative, because if they're doing this correct, one of the Marvels should actually be the male version that they started out with in the 70s, if they do this right.
Yeah. And for me, you raise another question too. I've never understood the Captain Marvel situation. I don't know why they're calling her Ms. Marvel. And from what I know of the character, there's no connection to the Marvel, the line Captain Marvel, Ms. Marvel, and this now new Ms. Marvel. I don't see, there's no connection. Their powers not similar. They're not connected to the Kree. There's no connection that I know. If I'm wrong, let me know. But there's no connection. And I don't know why you would name a character Ms. Marvel when another character was already named Ms. Marvel. And I don't know why we need to change Ms. Marvel to Captain Marvel when there's an existing, there's a lot of choices like that I don't agree with. It's an interesting thing is that I'll end up agreeing with a lot of the things that the AIWs agree with. And we sometimes agree with their position too. We don't support, Michael B. Jordan being Superman and so on and so forth. The difference is that we do it from a I hate to say it, but non-racist point of view. You know what I mean? Whereas those guys are just triggered just by that. they're just triggered by those changes. If it's inclusivity, oh my God, they lose their mind, but they don't mind the Hulk being humiliated and Endgame and Thor being humiliated in his movies, being treated like a buffoon, and so on and so forth. And so sometimes it's inappropriate to do it. We don't understand it. But at the same time, we do it from the basis of understanding that inclusivity matters. It does matter, guys, it matters. I'm speaking to you AIWs out there. It matters. You may not understand it. You may not get it because you see yourself all the time and you take it for granted. But for those of us who haven't seen ourselves, it makes a big difference. And all you have to do to think about this is, look how upset you're getting when they change Captain Marvel from a man to a woman. Look how irate you're getting because they're taking away your precious male character. Now imagine if there was no Captain Marvel represented, if you weren't there at all. Just imagine that. It doesn't mean that we support changing Superman into a woman, or it doesn't mean we support that. It just means inclusivity matters and seeing yourself matters. And so I applaud Disney for their courage with respect to that. Not that I agree with every single decision that they make with respect to that.
Gotcha.
So guys, listen, let us know if you agree or disagree. Certainly share your opinions, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget to share the video. We need the help.